Now, so if y'all have not watched my Chris Rock is slapped by Will Smith video, please watch that. I'm gonna link that in the description box. I really want to talk about Kandi and the Gang really quick. Y'all know this is like my favorite show. I went ahead. It's my favorite show now, but it's not my favorite show in general. Not even close. But it's giving me something because ain't nothing been coming on Wednesday, Sundays, and this is finally something on Sundays until Housewives come on. And Housewives are super hit or miss these days. Like that last season, I just stopped watching and just watched the reunion because I just felt like every episode was a filler. But this episode, it was kind of fillery, not too much. It was like it had a little bit going on. It had a little bit going on with Patrick, Torrin, a little bit of Philip. We didn't see Philip as much. We didn't see Brian as much. But this was like a Chandrika, Patrick, and Dominique and Brandon episode. So I'm gonna just take it. I'm gonna just go all the way around. No OLG was in this bitch. Um, so Brandon and Dom Unique. I think her name is so funny. Dom Unique. Okay. You can tell like Brandon's really smitten with Dom Unique, but everything that the employees are saying about, you not being able to do this, you not being able to do that, but the manager allows the bartender to come in 2 hours late. She doesn't get reprimanded, and on top of that, he has a relationship with her. It's not cool, and it's terribly hypocritical, and it makes the business look bad. Um, but Brandon really likes her. But I'm like, well, one of y'all need to quit. One of y'all need to go work. If y'all enjoy working for Kandi and Todd so much, one of y'all needs to go work at Blaze, and the other one stays at OLG. And that probably could be Brandon because he is the higher up. He's super smitten with her ass. And he wanted her to come through to his birthday party. She came through, and it seems like they're making it official that they are in fact dating. And I'm just curious how that's gonna play out with Kandi and Todd and Philip and that other manager Nina. Like, how is it gonna play out with this man? He's officially they're claiming their relationship, or at least doing it in plain sight. That's a little strange. Normally, like management and employees, you definitely need to keep that on the hush hush. Not even just employee to employee. Sometimes you may want to keep that shit hush hush because people will go run to management and be like, yeah, they fucking. But with you being management, it looks a hell of a lot worse. Um, Torrin, Patrick, and Safari. I appreciate the fact that Patrick acknowledges that he is in fact pussy whipped. He's vaginamatized. Like Safari must got some good puss because she definitely does not have a good bob wig on her head. I hate that bob. It's stiff. It's oily looking, and the part in the middle, like it looks like a goddamn fishing net in the middle of her damn head. It's thick, and you can really see like the individual squares. It looked like the screen in my window. I'm like, that bob is terrible. And it's like that lends itself to the stereotype of people in Atlanta who are just fucking tacky. Because and then for you to be like this dermatologist, esthetician, and you got a bob like that bob, the bob don't I cannot I remember being in the fourth grade and just looking at the girls, just looking at their hair, and I'm like, their hair don't move. If this they was like doing jumping, they was jumping rope, and the hair wasn't moving. I'm like, why do you got this hair and it don't move? Like, whether it be weave or it be their real hair, it don't move. It's pissing me off. Wear some braids, cause braids are going. If you got stiff braids, bitch, you need to just wear afros, okay? Just wear afros, cause that's not something I'm expecting to ever move. But anyway, her bob, it was it was pissing me off. But she is like, look, why are you hiring Torin to come do the decorations for your apartment? I can do it myself. And it's like Torin said, girl, you don't even live here. And it's like, girl, you was talking about how you were decorated, but when we looked at your establishment, it was all plain. I think I said this before. Whenever people have decorations and it's all neutral colors like beige, tan, white, gray, black, gold, they don't know how to fucking coordinate colors together at all. They don't know how to do a purple with a blue, or a orange and a blue. They don't know how to do a red and a blue. They don't know how to do a green and a blue. Like, they don't know how to do a green and pink. They don't know how to do a purple. and an orange. They don't know how to mix colors. They don't know how to do a yellow and a purple. Like they don't know how to put colors together. So they just use the little safe colors, and that's an indication that they don't have no taste. And when you look at her office, you can see that she has no taste in decorating. And when you look at her bob, you can tell she has no taste in picking out a bob. So I don't know why. I don't like the fact that she was just so, and maybe because she is 4 years older than Patrick, he's 28, so that must mean that she's 32. She's just used to just being so domineering, and he just allows her to do that because she is his cougar. But it's not cool because now it's one thing if that's just you and y'all situation, but now this is affecting shit that you got going on with other people. And people are gonna be like, yeah, we cool with you, but we not cool with your girlfriend. So if you bring her, she can stay the fuck where she is. So if that's how you want to be, that's how you want to play it, then whatever the case may be. But she wouldn't be getting no motherfucking invite here. But he chose not to work with Torrin no more. Torrin felt blindsided because it's like, oh, it seems like you just saying this now because she's here and you just gonna go whatever the fuck she say. But I didn't like that either. So he says that she's gonna do it fine, cool, and she don't want to do the housewarming party anyway, either. And like I said, she also still does not live there, so she don't want nobody in the house, and she don't want nobody decorating the house. That's pretty much that's her house, even though she stay across the street, like Maxine Shaw living single, across the street, but she decide who can be in there, who can decorate it. I wasn't feeling that. What else happened? They had the meeting. Since we talking about Patrick, let's talk all the way about Patrick. They had the meeting, and this meeting was like, if I was Chandra, I would have been so annoyed. This meeting was a little town hall meeting for everybody to have and to express their grievances so that they can make things better. And the answer to making things better was to pretty much shut everything down. And then, what we're going to do instead? We're going to have a little OLG fun day, which is really just creative production by Bravo. Like, y'all got to do something on this show. And if ain't nothing going on, let's just have y'all do some weak-ass activities just to fill up some time on this time slot that y'all have, on this hour-long time slot that y'all have. But the episode is only 43 minutes. Okay? So, homegirl was talking about the silverware keeps going missing, so y'all know what that means. Y'all know what Chandrika said. She said that OLG is in the hood. So niggas are still in the silverware, okay? They are still in the silverware. They're putting the spoons, forks, and butter knives in their to-go styrofoam plates, and they walking out with the shit. Because I don't feel like employees would be stealing the silverware. Because I feel like you wouldn't want to lose your job stealing the silverware. So I know for a fact it's the customers, it's the patrons making off with them forks and them spoons and them knives and them butter knives. And then, she lightweight drew Chandrika under the bus because Chandrika was like, bitch, we just talked about that. And then it's like, everybody knows, I guess, in a restaurant that it's the host's job to wipe the menus down. So if she talking about some of the menus be dusty, only one person is responsible for why the menus are dusty. So I understood why Chandrika was so frustrated because it's like, bitch, we just talked about this and on the day that we talked about it, and now you bring it up now, like, girl. You trying to make me look bad in front of the fucking owners. Like, so I understand the frustration, but telling homegirl to shut up in front of the management was not cool. Especially, like, being an adult and learn how to, you should know how to communicate instead of telling people how to shut up. So Kandi was right, Chandrika was wrong. Furthermore, Torrin, he came in, they was talking about Philip. And I didn't like what Don Juan was saying because Don Juan, and you've actually, you've known people to say that they didn't like Philip at all. And he has an attitude with how he talks to people. And then you're like, oh, but Torrin, you do come in with an attitude too. And he's like, no, I don't. And maybe he did, but when he met Philip, he didn't come in with an attitude that time. He came in very, very cool. So it's like for you to know Philip's reputation with the employees thus far, but you kind of downplay and sort of reject what Torrin was saying was kind of whack because it's like, me, but you also, you literally had the you said in the last episode, you had the referee several of his disagreements with employees. So it's like, why would you just make it seem like I'm overreacting, or it could have been my fault because of how I present myself? That was whack. It's like, Don Juan, I hate when you do stuff like that and I hate when you like look down, because when you look down, I see your nasty ass lining, and it's probably like my lining is fucked up also, but it ain't like that. And it's like, it's probably time for your ass to go bald. Cause best believe I will be going bald. I will be a beanie man before I just be on TV looking down and looking every kind of way where everybody can see this motherfucking oval in the middle of my head, because my hairline is my hairline is receding. Okay, Don Juan, that was whack. But back to Patrick and Chandrika. So, Kandi she put the spotlight on Chandrika. She asked her, Chandrika, you don't have anything to say? I heard you had things to say. And Chandrika was like, oh no, everything good, we good. And then here come Patrick. Chandrika was like, I told y'all I don't like that snitching shit. I don't like it. Like, I feel like you either gonna be one of us or you gonna be one of them. And if you're gonna be one of them, you do not need to be going out with us. Because once you start snitching and you start telling personal conversations that I was just talking to the employees about amongst the employees, and we just gonna keep it amongst us, but you wanna go take it to management, that's weak as fuck. That's very Randall from Recess. Don't be that guy, Patrick, because I think you cool. I think you're a nice guy. But don't just be throwing people under the bus. And I wonder, would he have thrown her under the bus if she was somebody else? Or was he personally throwing her ass under the bus because they used to fuck around, he don't like her fiance, and he don't really give a fuck about her no more? That's whack. It was whack. I didn't like it. But even then, Chandrika, I feel like she defended herself pretty well. She was like, you know what? Customers have complained about the food. They said, the food tastes different, or they didn't like it. And then the common denominator was that they didn't like the food the days that Melvin wasn't there in the kitchen. So if it's valid, it's valid. But he was just trying to make it seem like she was just That's the thing about this episode with how they was doing Chandrika. They was making it seem like she was just slandering the business to to customers and to the rest of the world, when she was not. When she was on that phone call, and I don't even like how they did that. I felt like that was like lightweight unprofessional, because y'all only heard what she was saying on that personal phone call because of the cameras. So it was like that conversation was not even meant for y'all to hear. That conversation was meant between her and Brandon, who is a manager. So I feel like it's fine for an employee, at least where I work, it's fine for an employee to vent their frustrations to management. That's what the fuck they want you to talk to. Like, if you can't talk to them, talk to HR or whatever the case may be, but you should be able to talk to somebody, but you definitely should not slander the business. Maybe they feel that way because she's doing it on TV, but at the end of the day, y'all showed the recording on television, so that was y'all fault. And if she feel like Todd and Kandi don't give a fuck, then look what y'all did. Like she said, everything got shut down. Everything that we said, y'all dismissed. And then a response to it, well, we just going to take y'all on the party. Instead of exactly addressing what we were saying on how y'all can make it better. Y'all just like, oh, y'all need to communicate. Like, it's like we're watching Kandi and Todd not really know how to fucking run a restaurant business. And y'all are bringing people in who don't know how to run a restaurant business either. Like, y'all said it's a chain of command with y'all. And then there's Don Juan. Don Juan shouldn't be there because he ain't got no experience in the restaurant business. So y'all probably should have hired a regional manager who worked in restaurants to be the person above Philip. And then I think getting Philip was good because, like he said, he's worked in a restaurant group for 16 years. I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. But he's in a restaurant business. But I'm like, Don Juan don't have the qualifications. Then, like Kandi said, like, he's supposed to be doing your shit, so why is he doing anything related to OLG? You just stop being cheap and hire somebody else to do his job. Just like y'all need to stop being cheap and hire buy a new iPad. Because why do y'all have an iPad at Blaze but not at OLG, especially when OLG was y'all first restaurant? Why y'all still using pen and paper? That's stupid too. So it's just like, for them to get so mad at Chandrika because she felt like they don't give a fuck. It's like, well, if I feel like y'all don't give a fuck because that's what y'all shown me, and if I'm telling y'all why I feel y'all don't give a fuck, don't be trying to say, oh well, it feels like a slap in the face. Bitch, you slapped me in the face by not acting like y'all don't give a fuck. Like, the fuck? But y'all know how I feel about Kandi and how she has a tendency she has some real nee tendencies, like a little bit of narcissistic tendencies. Like when she feel like she don't do something or whatever she do, it ain't that big of a deal. That's another thing. What else happened in this episode? It wasn't really much going on. Rashard going over to Brandon's house not Brandon, Brian's house to make soul rolls. I want to try one of them soul rolls. I do love some salmon. I don't like shrimp though. I'm allergic. Uh, he feeling like management is unintelligent, and I think Brandon is pretty unintelligent because again, when they was bringing up the issues that they had with him, he kind of like downplayed it. Even like when Mama Joyce said like, I told you to do, you told me to figure something out in the kitchen, and you just walked away. Then you ain't speak to Aunt Bertha. He ain't really acknowledge it. He was like, well, let's just ask everybody else to see if I work. Bitch, everybody else will say that you just sit at the bar and eat, and then you want to talk about how you oversee. Everybody else will talk about how you let your bartender come in 2 hours late. You don't say anything, but you want to say something to Brian about sitting at the bar. The same thing that you do. Everybody will talk about how you just sit somewhere and be on your phone. Like, that's not an argument. That's not a road. That's not a hill you want to die on, buddy. And I think that was it. This episode was cool, but I didn't like how they handled that shit with Chandrika at all. Like, they're like, oh, you just can't be saying, you can't be telling people we don't give a fuck. She didn't tell people. That was a private conversation between her and the manager, and that manager did not tell people. And because y'all fucking got the audio to a camera, y'all have her thinking she's talking about people behind her back. I mean, people are talking about her behind her back and talking about her personal conversations. So now she's going to go on this witch hunt to find out who stabbed her in the back because y'all was listening in on cameras on shit that y'all really shouldn't have listened to. Like, I don't like that. I really don't like that. And I don't like Todd. I don't like him really having anything to do with OLG. I feel like, okay, if it was his idea to make the restaurant, then like fine. But I don't like him. And this shit, I haven't been liking anything that he's been saying. I really don't. Like, he really, like, ever since he said that dumbass shit on the first episode, talking about I'm fine with my patrons, my customers, sitting in my restaurant with no power for 2.5 to 3 hours. I'm fine with that just because I don't want to get a generator. That was the dumbest thing I ever heard. And I said this time and time again. For us watching who have never been to OLG, who may have wanted to go to OLG, why would we still want to go if we know there's a possibility that the power can go out while we're eating, while we're ordering, and we may have to wait 2.5 to 3 hours? People normally stay at restaurants for 2.5 to 3 hours. I know the times I've been at restaurants, it's been like 2.5 to 3 hours. But we done already ate and had our drinks. Ain't nobody trying to stay in no restaurant for 6 hours. Like, what the he's a dumbass. And I hope Mama Joyce, she sees this season, she watches it back, and then the next season she's beefing with Todd all over again because he is just a fucking big-headed loser. He's a big-headed loser, and I'm not feeling that. But that's my review. 4th episode of Kandi The Gang. I love it. Real quick about Philip. I don't feel like Philip is a bad dude. I feel like he just lacks self-awareness, and I want to see how he evolves on the show, so you realize, you know what, I had the wrong approach, and I'm going to work on my approach so that I can work with these employees and create a better working environment with them to go in the direction that this restaurant needs to go into. Because like I'll be watching him talk to his best friend and then his boyfriend, and you can tell he's two different Philips. But it's like you can be half of the Philip that you are with your friends, and you can be the other half of the Philip that you are at work, so that people can feel comfortable working with you and want to work with you. I don't want to say work for you, but work with you, and not be feeling so resistant to you. You can do both. But that's my take on this episode, y'all. I will see y'all next Sunday.